Today, I am going to discuss with metamorphic rocks. What is metamorphism? The term metamorphism has been derived from Greek language. Meta means change. Morph means form. Meta means change, morph means form. The change of forms of rocks. Here, how do we define it? Metamorphism is a process of transformation of rocks from one form to another under the influence of temperature, pressure, and chemically active fluids. Example: granite. Granite is changed into a newer rock which is called by the name gneiss. Granite is a acidic igneous rock. What are the essential mineralogical constituents of granite? Quartz and orthoclase feldspar. When it is changed into a newer rock under the metamorphism, then the rock is called by the name gneiss. Again, gneiss is also composed of quartz and orthoclase feldspar. The accessory minerals which are present in the granite like hornblende and biotite mica can also be seen in this gneissic rock in the form of platy minerals. The quartz and orthoclase feldspar are appeared in the form of granular minerals in gneissic rock, and biotite mica and hornblende minerals are appeared in the form of platy minerals. The segregation of minerals can also be seen in the gneissic rock. Alternative bands of dark minerals and light minerals can be seen in gneissic rock. Dark minerals are biotite mica and hornblende due to the presence of magnesium and iron mineralogical constituents. The light minerals are quartz and orthoclase feldspar. In this gneissic rock only we can able to find such kinds of alternative bands which is called by the name gneiss structure. For the transformation of rock from one kind to the another kind, the temperature and pressure and chemically active fluids are essential. These are known as agents of metamorphism. As such, granite, the sandstone is a sedimentary rock. When it is subjected to high temperature and pressure and chemically active fluids, which means metamorphism, then the rock becomes quartzite. Granite is a igneous rock, gneiss is a metamorphic rock, sandstone is a sedimentary rock, quartzite is a metamorphic rock. When sandstone is subjected to high temperature, then the rock is changed into a newer rock which is called by the name quartzite. In sandstone, 90% of the mineralogical constituent is quartz. In quartzite also we are going to find more than 90% is quartz mineralogical constituent. When this rock is subjected to metamorphism, then we are going to find quartzite rock. Limestone is changed into a newer rock which is called by the name marble. Limestone is basically rich with calcite and dolomite mineralogical constituents. Even marble we are going to find the same mineralogical constituents. Limestone is a chemically formed sedimentary rock. Marble is a metamorphic rock. Rocks which are formed igneous or sedimentary or even metamorphic rock itself, when they are subjected to high temperature and pressure, definitely they are going to change it into a newer rock which is called by the name metamorphic rocks. The next one is agents of metamorphism. Metamorphism occurs in rocks due to the effect of high temperature, high pressure and chemically active fluids. These are known as metamorphic agents. Then let us take one by one. Next one is agents of metamorphism. The first one is temperature. The metamorphism takes place between 300 to 300 degrees Celsius to 850 degree Celsius. There are two types of heat sources. Number one, depth. As depth increases, temperature increases, which means internal heat. When we go towards depth, temperature increases. Another kind of source is magmatic heat. What is magmatic heat? As a result of contact with magma, the partial or complete recrystallization takes place in surrounding rocks. As a result of contact with magma, for example, this is earlier formed rock. When an intrusion takes place, into this pre-existing rock mass, the partial here, the surrounding, the partial or complete recrystallization takes place in surrounding rocks. This is the surrounding rock. When intrusion takes place on the name of whatever the structures, whether it may be concordant or discordant, we need not bother about it. Just whatever the names. When an intrusion takes place into the pre-existing rocks, the surrounding rocks get altered into the newer rocks. That is due to magmatic heat. Here the temperature source is two kinds. One is as depth increases, temperature enhances. Another one is magmatic heat. When an intrusion takes place into the pre-existing rocks, the surrounding rock gets altered partially or completely, in which we are going to find recrystallization of mineralogical constituents. The temperature recrystallizes the original minerals, but there is no addition or subtraction of minerals from the original rocks. The second one is pressure. As like temperature, we are going to find two types of pressure source. Number one, the uniform pressure. What is uniform pressure? Again, as depth increases, pressure increases. When we go deeper into the earth, towards core, towards mantle, not only the temperature increases, pressure also enhances. That is called by the name uniform pressure. The second one is directed pressure. What is directed pressure? It is also called as lateral pressure. The directed pressure is formed due to tectonic movement of the earth. Particularly, we are going to find individual tectonic plates. When friction takes place between two plates, side by side or against, at that margin we are going to find the enhancement of pressure. This is called by the name directed pressure. The next one is chemically active fluids. The most important liquid is water. It may be present as a liquid state or vapor state. When it is at very high temperature, chemically active fluids facilitate recrystallization of original minerals. Like magmatic water can be seen, juvenile water can be seen. There are various kinds of source of chemically active fluids can be seen. When that water attains very high temperature, that also brings recrystallization of original minerals in the rocks. That makes into the newer rock. Such a way, the chemically active fluids is responsible to bring the changes in the earlier formed rocks. Next heading is kinds of metamorphism. Based on the type of metamorphic agents involved, following types are recognized. Number 1, thermal metamorphism. Number 2, dynamic metamorphism. Number 3, dynamo-thermal metamorphism. Number 3, dynamo-thermal metamorphism. Number 4, metazomatism. Let us take one by one. What is thermal metamorphism? What is thermal? Thermal means temperature. Metamorphism which is taken place due to the increase of temperature in the surrounding rocks. Such metamorphism is called as thermal metamorphism. Here, pressure and fluids are going to play subordinate role. In this case, the rock sandstone. Sandstone is a sedimentary rock which is rich with quartz minerals. More than 90% of the mineralogical constituent is quartz. When this rock is subjected to high temperature, then the rock is changed into a newer rock which is called by the name quartzite under the metamorphism. What do we find under the influence of temperature? The second one is dynamic metamorphism. What is dynamic metamorphism? Dynamic means pressure. Metamorphism which is taken place due to increase of directed pressure. Such metamorphism is called as dynamic metamorphism. Here, temperature as well as chemically active fluids play subordinate role. In this case, shale changed into slate under the metamorphism. Arrow mark denotes metamorphism here. What do we find here? Pressure. In this case, we do not find any new mineralogical constituents. Just rearrangement of mineralogical constituents can be seen. Because there is no temperature to takes place recrystallization of mineralogical constituents. Rearrangement of mineralogical constituents can only be seen. There is no recrystallization of mineralogical constituents when a rock is subjected to only pressure. The third one is dynamothermal metamorphism. What is dynamothermal metamorphism? It is also called by the name regional metamorphism. Metamorphism which is taken place due to both temperature and pressure. The metamorphism which is taken place due to temperature as well as pressure is called as dynamothermal metamorphism. Here fluids are going to play subordinate factors. Example, granite. Granite is a igneous rock which is changed into a gneissic rock. Granite is a acidic igneous rock. When that rock is subjected to high temperature and pressure, that will be changed into a newer rock which is called by the name gneiss. Granite simply being at the greater depth. For example, when we are going to find mountain, if there is a rock mass beneath the mountain, definitely it is subjected to high temperature and pressure. Then the granite rock mass completely changed into a newer rock that is called by the name gneissic rock. Not only at the mountain region, rocks can be metamorphosed simply by being at a great depth below the earth's surface. When that rock is subjected to high temperature and great pressure caused by the immense weight of the rock layer above. The fourth one is metazomatism. Metazomatism is taken place when the rocks are attacked by chemically active fluids or chemically active gases. If the changes are brought by the chemically active fluids is referred to as hydrothermal metamorphism. Hydrothermal metamorphism. What is hydrothermal metamorphism? Hydrothermal metamorphism is taken place due to the influence of chemically active fluids. If the changes are brought by the chemically active gases, if the changes are taken place by chemically active gases, such kinds of metamorphism is referred as pneumatolytic. Pneumatolytic metamorphism. Pneumatolytic metamorphism is taken place by chemically active gases. Example for the metazomatism, particularly the rock peridotite. Changed into a newer rock which is called by the name steatite. when the rock, particularly peridotite, subjected to either chemically active fluids or chemically active gases, then that will be changed into a newer rock which is called by the name steatite. The next heading is structures of metamorphic rocks. Next heading is structures of metamorphic rocks. How the structures are different when the rock is formed from pre-existing rocks. What is granulose structure? Basically, there are four kinds of metamorphic structures. Number one, granulose structure. Number two, schistose structure. Number three, gneiss structure. And number four, argon structure. What is granulose structure? When we examine the rock under the microscope, how it will be appeared? What exactly the granulose structure? Particularly, the granulose structure can be seen the rock which are having granulose minerals. We do not find any platy minerals, the rocks which denotes granulose structure. When we are going to draw a circle, definitely that denotes how the rock is appeared under the microscope. Whatever the mineralogical constituents, whether it may be quartz or whether it may be feldspar or whether it may be calcite, these mineralogical constituents are appeared in the form of granular. The grains are bigger. There is no compressed form. When the grains are appeared in the form of approximately just like spherical shape in whatever the rock, then the structure is called by the name granulose structure. Granulose structure is characterized by the presence of granular minerals and completely absence of platy, which means foliated minerals. Example, quartzite. Quartzite is a metamorphic rock in which we are going to find only granular minerals and completely absence of platy minerals. Granulose structure is characterized by the presence of only granular minerals and completely absence of platy, which means foliated minerals. That can be seen even marble, even in quartzite rocks. Quartzite is a metamorphic rock which is formed of sandstone. Sandstone is a sedimentary rock in which we are going to find more than 90% of the mineralogical constituent is quartz. When that sandstone is subjected to high temperature, that will be changed into a newer rock which is called by the name quartzite. in which we are going to find only granular minerals and completely absence of platy minerals. The second type is cystose structure. What is cystose structure? How it will be viewed under microscope? In this case, we do not find any granular minerals. The cystose structure can be seen the rocks which are having only platy minerals or foliated minerals. For example, the rock talc schist. Talc is a platy mineral. Hornblende, the hornblende schist. In the rock hornblende schist, what do we find? We are going to find the mineralogical constituent is hornblende. Hornblende is a prismatic habit mineral which is appeared in the form of platy, which means foliated appearance, that does not able to obtain granular appearance. When a rock is having biotite mica, definitely that rock shows cystose structure. The biotite mica is appeared in the form of compressed state. Granular means spherical. Foliated means platy appearance, which is compressed state. You see the difference between granular and cystose. The grains are bigger. Here the grains are compressed form. These mineralogical constituents are platy minerals or foliated minerals. This type of structure can be seen from the rock biotite schist. What is cystose structure? Cystose structure is characterized by the presence of platy minerals, which means foliated minerals, and completely absence of granular minerals. Just compare with the earlier diagram. Here only granular minerals, here only platy minerals. The rock in which we are going to find only platy minerals, then the structure is called by the name cystose structure. Example, biotite schist, even talc schist. These rocks are going to show only cystose structure. The rocks which are completely devoid of granular minerals, then the rock is called by the name cystose structure rock. The next one is gneiss structure. How this gneiss structure is appeared under the microscope. The rock gneiss is composed of both the kinds of mineralogical constituents, which means granular minerals and platy minerals. You see, the green color denotes, this color denotes platy minerals. The yellow color denotes granular minerals. These two platy minerals, the yellow color grains are granular minerals. What is gneiss structure? Gneiss structure is characterized by the presence of both granular minerals and platy minerals in the form of alternate bands. These mineralogical constituents are appeared in light color, quartz and orthoclase feldspar, due to the absence of magnesium and iron composition. These mineralogical constituents are appeared in dark color due to the presence of magnesium and iron composition. Alternative bands of light colored and dark colored mineralogical constituents can be seen in gneiss structure. The last one is organ structure. How the organ structure is appeared under microscope. Again, in the organ structure, we are going to find granular minerals, again platy minerals. Both the mineralogical constituents can be seen again in this organ structure. How these mineralogical constituents are appeared, that's all. Organ structure is characterized by the lens-shaped granular minerals. The granular minerals like quartz and feldspar appeared in the form of lens-shaped and which are surrounded by the dark colored platy minerals. This is lens-shaped granular minerals. Organ structure can be seen from the rock organ gneiss. What is organ? Organ means eye. Organ structure means which is characterized by the presence of lens-shaped granular minerals and surrounded by platy minerals. Lens-shaped light-colored granular minerals, when these minerals are surrounded by dark-colored platy minerals, then the structure is called by the name organ structure. That can be seen. That kind of structure can be seen. The rock, gneissic rock. When the rock denotes organ structure, then the rock is also called by the name organ gneiss. The rock in which we are going to find organ structure, then the rock is called by the name organ gneiss.